So firstly, I'm going to speak about my resource that I decided to make. I decided to make a physical resource mainly because on placement last semester or last year, I felt when I was demonstrating a topic or demonstrating anything in woodwork or tech craft, that I felt having a resource that is physical, the students got a better understanding and were able to understand the key principles within the topic. So this is the resource that I've made. It's basically a little geodomestic dome. The reason why I wanted to make this is because when a student is going to participate in a question, they can actually have this beside them, which literally took me 10 minutes to make. So it's a very easy resource to make, and it also students can have it beside them to understand the principles that they are actually meant to do when they're going to complete a question. So if they have any difficulties, they can always result back into the resource. So that's my rationale on why I felt a physical model as a resource is the best way to get the kids to understand geodomestic domes. Secondly, I want to move on to my assessment question, and the rationale for my assessment question is because personally I actually found this topic quite difficult myself. So the question, I wanted to try and have it as simple and less complicated as it is, and just have the basics of the principles for geodomestic domes. So as you can see here, this is my actual question, the first question. So basically I worked mine off as an octahedron, and I wanted to complete 2 frequency geometric domes on the given. So basically I have given them the plan and the elevation, I've given them the measurements, so they don't have to try and make it up themselves as this is quite complicated already. I didn't want them to have to do any more difficulties. Here's the second part. So basically this is where the completed question is that I completed myself. At the start when you look at it, it looks quite difficult, but actually when you break it down, there's really only 2 steps into it, and it's not as difficult as it seems. So basically, first of all, you have your 2 plan and elevation as you do here, and basically what we have to do first is try and get one side of the dome, and once you get one side of the dome, it's basically just mirroring all the points around to the opposite end. Secondly, then you just go try and get an end view. Once you get your end view, you then put a semicircle around, and that gives you basically your dome from your side or your true shape. So basically you bring that back into your plan, and then basically you bring your lengths 2 sets back, which most students will have learned that in previous topics. You then move on to your end view, and then once you do your end view, you do the exact same thing with your semicircle, and you bring your points back. So once you bring all your points back, you then join it up, and you can see here, this is the start of it. So what basically you do then is you copy it around each of the 4 edges of it, and then you create your geodomestic domes. You then bring it back up to the top plane, and then you have your geodomestic domes up there. Finally, I actually wanted to add in a different aspect of this question, because I don't want students to just be all about the drawing part of it. I want them to incorporate other parts of subjects or other parts of the environment into it. So basically the second part is, after completing this drawing, discuss in details how a geodomestic roof are more effective and sustainable than a normal standard roof on a house. So basically this is bringing in different aspects of subject. It's bringing in technology for structures, it's bringing in woodwork for the different types of wood, strength wise and all that. So basically I just don't want the students to be just doing a question for the sake of doing a question. I want them to be able to understand why they're doing a question, and actually to further their knowledge on the question. So basically geometric domes are becoming very popular lately because they are more eco-friendly, and for the students to be able to understand this and to be able to put this into a drawing is a much better way of getting them to complete their questions rather than just completing a drawing just for the sake of doing a drawing.